What's up, all you lovely internet movie fans, and welcome back. This is my after review show for the Peacemaker Season 2 review. So we're on episode 3 now, and this show continues to be an absolute delight. Like I said, I can't get enough of this show. The storytelling, the character development, the laughs, the comedy, the tension building. It's all been great so far, and this episode sets up a lot and has some big reveals that I did not see coming. Let's dive into it right now and discuss the whole thing, because you guys missed out on a great one if you have not seen this one yet. So with this episode, we kind of pick up where we left off. Peacemaker is in the alternate dimension. He's just having a massive hangover from texting Hardcore, and they're planning to meet up today. And so he has a conversation with Keith on like, hey, if I drove to see Hardcore, what would I drive and where would she be? And so he's like asking these vague questions because he doesn't know where she goes, because this isn't his home dimension. Keith is like, why are you acting so weird, bro? You would do this and this. And we see he drives the Peace Cycle. This thing looks amazing. It's so cool. I would love to drive this thing. It looks like an absolute blast. He takes it out and he drives to Argus, and he gets all the love and admiration and support that he's been longing for in his home dimension. People are cheering for him on the streets. Kids are crying. Women are flashing him their tits like, yes, we love you, Peacemaker. And he goes, best dimension ever. And he should feel that way, because he's a superhero in the best ways possible here, and they love him. And he speeds off, goes to Argus to meet her, and there he encounters the Jag that it's been talked about that she's dating. It's Rick Flag. He's returned, but this Rick Flag in this dimension, he's not like our normal one that we're accustomed to that we saw in the Suicide Squad. He's a bit of a spaz. He's all over the place. He's doing some dumb shit. He's picking up 2 phones, like trying to be like as inconspicuous as possible. He's tripping over trash cans. Like, it's a very funny interaction, but Peacemaker is really taken aback because we all know what he did to Rick Flag and where he comes from. He killed him, and he just cannot believe he's seeing this Rick Flag. So Hardcore is like, let's go out. Let's go have a talk. They have a really heartfelt conversation about feelings and sharing and not cheating, and like, we gotta like, and he wants to connect because he doesn't have that connection with his normal Hardcore from his dimension. And as they have a great afternoon, I like that sense of belonging, that love that he's been feeling from all these people that are around him that think he's a superhero. He's starting to feel that from her, and she's like, we could make this work if you do X, Y, and Z, and it's laid out. This is what he's been looking for, hasn't been able to get with his normal one. And you can start to see that, like, maybe the grass is greener over here. He's a superhero. He's beloved. He has a loving family. He has deep connections with Hardcore that are starting to form now. Maybe it's better. But like I said, there are just some red flags that are going off for like this alternate dimension. There's, like I said, no person of color. There's no one. It's all whites. And it's very funny too, because I think they could do a very funny thing if they lead up to like everyone in this universe is kind of like his dad from his home dimension, like very racist in the end. And Peacemaker could have a very funny moment where he's like, where's Adebayo or someone like that? And they're like, who? And he's like, and eventually it comes to a head and he can find out. And he's like, what the fuck? What is this world? What is this dimension? What's wrong with you people? But that's a theory, and I think it's a very credible one too for what could happen later on. But him and Harcourt, like I said, have a lovely afternoon, and it comes to a head when this group called the Sons of Liberty like have a big explosion, and they go into and rob this bank building. I believe it's a bank. Don't quote me on that. But as they're robbing it, Peacemaker looks at Harcourt and he rushes in to like stop these people. And this scene is absolutely great. It has full John Wick vibes too, because he's using pencils. He's using all weapons available. Just mows through this whole group. Like I said, the guy who gets the pencil death, that sucked. That looked absolutely terrifying for him, and it sucked, but it was so cool to watch on the screen. And this was some of the best action that I think we've gotten throughout this season so far. I loved it. So he mows through the whole group of gang, and he disarms the bomb with like 0.1 seconds remaining before it blows up. And he gets out and he's cheered, and like Keith showed up too and like just blew up and just like with no like regard for these guys, just goes and just destroys the helicopter they were supposed to get away with. So saves the day. He's cheered on even more. People love him, and it's like, oh, okay. So back in his home dimension though, things are starting to boil over and go to a head. Bordeaux was now with Tim Meadows and all the Argus agents. They're kind of planning to go into Peacemaker's house and go and get the quantum unfolding chamber and see where it leads to, because they don't want another Metropolis event that happened a couple months ago referencing Superman. So first, I guess I also go, Tim Meadows like when he's talking at the hospital with his agents, he's like, "You didn't tell me he had a superhuman duck. That thing almost killed me." And they're like, "It's not a duck. He doesn't have a duck. It's not a metahuman. It's like it's an eagle. It's a normal eagle." And he goes, "I have bird blindness. I know it's funny, but you shouldn't make fun of it." But his delivery is absolutely phenomenal. I love it. He's just, it's the best. Tim Meadows knows what he's doing. He's killing it with this role. But they're all planning to go to his house, and Peacemaker doesn't know this because he's in the alternate dimension. He's living it up, having time of his life. He doesn't know what he's about to go over for. Economos now, he's with them. He knows what they're planning, so he's kind of playing both sides because he doesn't want to go in. And then we see Judo Master. They're introduced. We got a new agent on the scene, and he's gonna be working with Judo Master. And Judo Master just like, "What's up, fatty?" Very funny delivery yet again. So things are starting to boil over now. And there's also a very funny interaction that Economos has with Adrian, where Adrian just tells him, he's like, "I love spiders." Like, they're like, everyone's like, fear. My fear. I fucking hate spiders. And he's like, "Quiz me. I know everything about them." He doesn't. Again, it's a funny bit where he says he has a favorite animal and knows everything about it, but when he's questioned on it, he knows absolutely nothing. So everything's starting to boil over. Bordeaux brings her team to his house, and Peacemaker leaves the hardcore dimension knowing he's like, "I need a couple of days," but his mind seems to be made up. He wants to be there, but he knows he has to go back to his homeworld because he has people there too that care about him, and that's where he's from ultimately in the end. So he goes back to his home dimension, and they're about to raid his house, and that's where it cuts a scene, and that's where we get to lead into episode 4. Also, there's a cool Eagle Hunter character that we're introduced to as they're rolling up to Peacemaker's house. It's Michael Rooker, who plays Yondu in James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I forget, it's Saint Red or something. He looks like, it's a very funny aesthetic that he has. I think he's going to play a big part in the next couple of episodes. I hope nothing happens to Eagly. Eagly is my guy. I do not need to see another animal harm from, like, I don't need to see that. But I'm expecting a lot of fireworks happen in the next episode or two, and a lot of stuff is going to be coming to a head. Peacemaker continues to be an absolute success, just an out-of-the-park hit for DC. I love what they're doing. I think, like, if you haven't seen, like, the cast, like John Cena, the actress who plays Adebayo, they've posted pictures online with David Corenswet. I think we're getting Superman later on in the season. I think that might make sense. I don't know in what context, but I can't wait for that. And we know there's a lot coming up. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you've seen the episode, if you haven't, watch it and then come back and let me know what you guys have thought. I love the show, and I'll see you guys next weekend for an episode 4 review and breakdown. Love you guys. See you. Peace.